Good morning, or whatever the hell it is. Welcome to the Housing Revolution Part 2, Chapter 1, Inflation in a Fixed Money Supply System. If you are one of the many people that finds economics too abstract to understand, don't worry, I'm going to break this down and present it to you in a way that will make sense to you and that you will eventually get. It will take a little effort and possibly a couple of viewings and maybe a couple of days for it to synthesize in your mind, but you will get it. While it is so important that everyone have an understanding of basic economics, most of us just aren't that interested. I certainly wasn't when I took econ in college. But with costs of living, especially housing, constantly inflating, putting more and more stress on us as we work more and more hours, get second or third jobs or side hustles just to get by, it is crucial that everyone have a strong understanding of basic economics. This economic game is like any other game. The less you understand the game, the more likely you are to lose. The less you understand the strategies of your competitor, the more likely they're going to give you the big beating. The average American's lack of understanding basic economics concepts has weaponized the economy for those who do understand economics, who have the means to exploit the economy, and who are able to influence economic policy. Failing to understand the rules and strategies of the game is basically a complete surrender. It's the decision to stay in the relationship and endure the abuse and the dysfunction. So we're going to learn some basic economic concepts and see how these concepts are affecting our land and housing system and are contributing to our affordable housing crisis. Eventually, you'll see that the affordable housing crisis has gone on and on for decades and is only worsening, affecting more and more people all the time, despite a litany of well-meaning but futile attempts to address it. These attempts have all failed to effectively address the crisis because we have failed to understand and effectively address the crisis' deepest roots, our unlimited feudalistic property laws working in concert with our hyperinflationary mortgage system. So let's dig in. Again, these concepts often don't sink in the first time and may require a few reviews before they synthesize in your mind, so don't get frustrated. The light bulb will eventually go on. So, the inflationary effects of supply and demand are limited by the money supply. What the hell does that mean? Well, let's break it down. First of all, inflation is an increase in prices of goods and services. For instance, those jeans that you bought last year for $28 are selling for $30 this year. That's inflation. That box of cereal you bought 6 months ago for $3.49 is now selling for $3.79. That's inflation. While that program that guy was selling 3 months ago for $300 to show you how to make an extra 50 grand a year in passive income flipping homes is now selling for $20, well, that's called karma. I mean deflation. Money supply is the amount of money in existence in a country. The money supply can be fixed, whereupon there is a specific and unchanging amount of money existing in a country, or it can be an elastic system whereupon money can be created and put into circulation and money can be taken out of circulation. The money in a fixed money supply system is typically coins made of precious metals like gold or silver, or paper money that represents and is backed by something of real value, such as gold or silver. The money created in an elastic system is often called fiat currency, as it has no real value of its own and is not backed by anything of real value. Its value is given by collective agreement and lawful decree. In a system where the money supply is fixed, price inflation in one section of the economy must be offset by either a decrease in that same section's sales or by price deflation and or decreased sales in other sections of the economy. In other words, something's got to give. If prices increase somewhere in the economy, there has to be an equally offsetting decrease somewhere else in the economy. For example, if clothing prices go up, either clothing sales will go down or prices and or sales in some other sections such as entertainment will go down accordingly, or some combination thereof. When it comes to necessities such as housing or food, it is unlikely people will stop buying these necessities when they inflate. Typically, an equal decrease in prices and or sales in other sections such as clothing and or entertainment must occur in order to offset the inflating prices of housing and or food. There are other factors such as the speed with which money changes hands within the system, aka the velocity of money, but these are typically minor and less predictable. So to get a better understanding of the limits of inflation in a fixed money supply, it is similar to your monthly budget, assuming your after-tax income is the same every month. In other words, if your monthly budget is fixed. For instance, let's say your monthly take-home income is $3,000, and let's say your monthly budget might look like this. $800 for rent, $300 for food, $400 for health insurance, $200 for medical out-of-pocket, $150 for gas, $100 for car insurance, $100 for car maintenance and repairs, $50 for clothes, $200 for utilities, $150 for entertainment, and $300 for savings, and $250 for discretionary spending and emergencies. So let's say you need to buy a new car and your car loan payments will be $300 per month, and your car insurance will increase by $50 per month. As your $3,000 monthly after-tax income is fixed, the only way you can make the new car payments and increase car insurance premiums is by decreasing your spending somewhere else in your budget by $350. So you comb through your budget and you come up with a plan. Your new car will get better mileage, so you decrease your gas budget by $50. You get a new health insurance plan, decreasing your budget there by $100. You then decrease your savings budget by $200. Right? Does that make sense? Something's got to give. If you have a fixed monthly income and fixed monthly budget, and you need more money for some specific item, you've got to take that money away from something else in your budget. In order to get this, you've got to take away from that. Well, it's very similar to the general economy with a fixed money supply system. Just like your monthly budget, any price inflation within a fixed money supply system must typically be accompanied by an equally offsetting decrease in sales or prices somewhere else within the economy. Again, something's got to give. There's only a fixed amount of money, so if people are going to start spending more money in one section of the economy, they will have to start spending less in one or more other sections of the economy. So let's say the healthcare industry successfully lobbies Congress and the president to pull some legislative sleight of hand in its favor in hopes of inflating healthcare costs and increasing healthcare demand. Now, I know such a thing would never happen, but let's just go with it. So in the scenario with the country having a fixed money supply, even with its plethora of cronies in Congress and the executive branch, the healthcare industry would be hard-pressed to get the results it so yearns for, because in a fixed money supply system, the only way one industry can increase its revenues is if the population cuts back its spending in other industries. A fixed money supply system is a natural barrier to inflation. So in our chart here, it's definitely not going to be housing that's going to take the hit, but let's say restaurants will take the hit necessary to enable the healthcare industry to increase its revenues. The fixed money supply naturally restricts the amount of inflation that can occur in any section of the economy, as buyers, in order to pay inflated prices in one section of the economy, are then forced to either buy fewer goods from that same section or spend less in other sections of the economy. So, how does this relate to housing? Well, land and housing inflation in a fixed money supply system is held to the natural limits inherent in a fixed money supply system. With land and housing's prominent place at the top of the economic food chain, along with some other essentials, land and housing does have the leverage to inflate slightly, but at the expense of other sections of the economy deflating a bit. But that inflation is marginal and is nothing compared to the hyperinflation we have experienced and will continue to experience in our current elastic money supply system, which we will learn about tomorrow. So that's enough for today. Ponder these concepts. Contemplate the similarities between the limits of your monthly budget when living within a fixed monthly income and the limits of an economic system in which inflation is limited by a fixed money supply. Let these concepts sink in and synchronize over the next 24 hours, and tomorrow you'll be primed to talk about inflation in an elastic money system. And I just want to say, for those of you already in the know, I am not advocating we go back to the gold standard or any other fixed money supply system. That's a throw out the bath with the bathwater proposal. Nor am I advocating credit for any and everything under the sun system we currently have that has done so much damage. That's a turn the faucet on full blast, let the tub overflow, continue to leave the faucet on full blast, let the whole house flood and act like the faucet isn't a problem approach. This is just as bad as going back to a fixed money supply. The thing is, there's a common sense happy medium, and we will talk about that at some point. Last thing, once again, I'm not selling anything or trying to get you to buy my program or whatever. I'm here to get the housing revolution going and moving in the direction it must go if we are to permanently transform our dysfunctional land and housing system into a highly functioning, equitable system that gets everyone adequately, securely, and affordably housed. Please share this video with anyone challenged by our housing system. Lick the hype button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the No Box Donations tab because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Blah, 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 blah. All right, see you tomorrow. Over and out.